What's up, YouTube? This is Aaron from Aaron Thoughts, and I'm here to talk about how my roommate helped me get a $100,000 net worth. If you like this type of content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. So let's get into it. So where do I begin? So I want to say around 2018, I was at my first job, right? And I was really just an entry level employee, right? In 2018, I want to say. And I was not making the most money. I think at the time I was only making about 45, 50K. And that was excluding the money I was making from the military. That being said, I was always just contemplating on ways just to get more money just because of the fact, times were hard. I wasn't making the most money. I was still paying off credit cards and student loans. And I had this roommate, right, who was from New Jersey, really, really intelligent, really, really just focused. And he was making the same amount of money that I was making at the time, right? The difference was that he was about 3 years younger than I was, right? 3-4 years younger than I was, right? Me and him build up a rapport. He's just super cool, super chill. But one day, we get drunk. I remember it like yesterday. We didn't have a lot going on like a Friday night. It was like one of those days where it was like still cold in Chicago, so we didn't want to go out. So he got really drunk and we were just watching movies, and I think there was like a finance show or movie we were watching. I want to say it was at the time, I think Succession just came out.
I am surrounded by snakes and fucking morons!
I was sober, he was drinking. At the time, because I was in the military, I didn't want to continue drinking like that, so I was drinking just like a lot of water. Anyway, I simply asked him, hey, roommate, do you think in the next 5 years, can't get words out of my mouth, that you'll have $100,000, right? And he looked at me while he was laying on the couch and he simply said, Aaron, I already have that. I said, what? No, you don't. He said, yes, I do. So he quickly unlocked his phone and he showed me his Charles Schwab account, right? And when he opened it up, it was, you can safely assume it was well more than $100,000, right? After I saw that, I immediately say, hey man, let's go out. Like, let's go to the club, let's pop bottles, let's have a good time. And then he was like, no, see, that's why you'll never have money like that, right? Because you're already willing to spend it and you're not even thinking how you're supposed to be thinking when it comes to this amount of money. I want to say the next day when he came to, I asked him a million questions about how he got that amount of money. And he was like, I should have never showed you that. But I said, no, I just want to be humble and I want to understand. So I asked him like a million questions over the course of the next 3 to 6 months. And he went into detail about how, because he was half Asian, right? And he went into detail about how his family, because he was the oldest grandchild in his Taiwanese family and his culture, in their particular family setup, they gave him money every single year up until the point until he was basically like a teenager or like junior high, right? So his grandparents, some of his uncles and stuff like that, they gave him money consistently like on every birthday and like graduation. And his father instructed him to put it into an index fund, which would on average return bring about 8 to 12% a year, right? And this is the first time I've ever heard of stuff like this. I said, well, what's that? He said, well, I use this ETF or this index fund called QQQ, right? And he said that, so if you put $10,000 in it, next year you expect it to be at $11,000. If you put $100,000 into it, you can expect it to be at $110,000 or more because of not only of the 8 to 12% return, but because of the dividends, right? And if you just keep it in there and it just keeps compounding, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. This is the first time I'm hearing about stuff like this, right? And I'm not gonna lie, it changed my life. After that, I immediately started asking him for financial advice. I opened up a Charles Schwab account. I wanna say a month later when I got like my second paycheck. And basically, it definitely helped me be more mindful of what I was doing wrong as far as how I was spending my money. So I remember 3 months after he told me that, he said, hey, let me see your phone for a second. Log in, unlock it. I said, okay. He said, I'm gonna do something for you real quick, and you're gonna feel uncomfortable at first, but I promise you after a month, you're not gonna even feel uncomfortable about what I'm about to do on your phone. I said, okay. And he basically had my checks automatically being deducted to go into my Roth 401k. And when he did it, he made the changes in the ADP app, which is what I was utilizing at the time. He made the changes, and I was like, why did you do that? He said, see, I told you you're gonna be uncomfortable with it. But after a month, he was right. I didn't even really feel it. I was contributing about 15%. And I'm gonna say at the end of that year, it definitely started growing like exponentially. And I asked him why he did it, and then he started explaining to me about the importance of 401ks and how companies will match what you contribute. So if you put in $1, they'll sometimes give you 50 cents for every dollar you contribute, or sometimes $1 for $1. And he said, if you don't contribute to it, you're actually leaving money on the table. So when he said it like that, it just made me think a little bit different with how I was accumulating wealth. Fast forward to 2024, right? You know, we went our separate ways around 2020, shortly after the pandemic, or in 2021, we ended up getting separate apartments. He ended up moving back to New Jersey. And, you know, I slowly just kept contributing to my 401k. I kept investing into the index funds that he was suggesting, like QQQ, VTI, VOO, and next thing you know, I had an opportunity to double my salary at my company that I was working for, and I ended up basically accumulating $100,000 net worth, right? So basically, I still have loans and stuff like that, but when you add up the amount of assets I have compared to the amount of debt that I have, it basically is a little over $100,000, right? And it's a good feeling to have, knowing that I'm only 31, but I'm already, you know, 90% away from becoming a millionaire, right? And of course, like years from now, $1 million may not be as much money now, but at the same time, that's a beautiful thought, knowing that I'm the new era of this generation in my family to be the first millionaire, right? And to set that precedent that if I can do it, someone else can. So yeah, that's the story. That's how I got into finances and investing. I had a roommate, he was already into it, and he showed me his bank account. And it's like, once you show me the money, I'm gonna listen. You know, I may not agree with it, but I'm gonna listen, you know? That's just how it goes, you know? So, but that's all that I have to share. So again, if you like this type of content, this investing content, more stories about investing or how I got into the stock market or something like that, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I love talking about this type of stuff, and I'm hoping I can help anyone out there who might be curious on how to get into it. But this is Aaron from Aaron Thoughts, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Stay safe.